Yeah, we're good.
Hey guys, how are you? I am Flurry Rose. I'm a nail artist. I'm from Brooklyn, and today I'm at the Zilla View headquarters in Jersey. So excited to be here. There's just like beautiful nail stuff all around me. And I can't wait to show you guys today how to do my design using the new collection from Leafgel called Space Opera on Flash. It's a really cool collection. It's magnetized and it also has this crazy glitter that's so reflective. It's not like anything you've ever seen before. So follow along with me if you'd like, or you can try this design out later. And if you want to purchase any of the items that I'm using today on the Zilla View website, you can use my code. It's Flurry10 and you save a bunch of money. All right, so let's get started. We're just getting the camera set up so you guys can see everything. Give us 1 minute here. And you can already see this design. Oh, sorry about that. Great. Okay. So before I get started doing the actual design, which you can see right here, what I'm going to be teaching you is how to do this moon. Let's see. This beautiful full moon with Kira Kira sparkles. We're also going to do this little guy here, which is like man on the moon. He might look a little complicated, but he's actually so easy to do. You guys are going to love this technique. And then I'll also briefly go over how to do just a really cute 3-pointed star like this. If you're a bit more of a beginner, you might want to just use this collection and only add these little sparkles on a nail. And then if you want to try something harder, you can do the moons. And I'm going to show you too what the collection looks like. I did some swatches here. So you can see there's 6 colors. So this is when you use the magnet on them, the ones here. And then over here is just if you do a flat, a glitter, just using the collection by itself on clear with no base color. It's this beautiful, super reflective glitter. It kind of reminds me almost of, you know, the way a street sign reflects at night when the lights hit it from a car. It's really, really beautiful. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to prep the nail. I've got my little samples here. Now I prepped it with a black base coat. I always love Leafgel 1 for black because this black you can really just do 1 coat and you get full coverage. This nail right here is 1 coat only. And you don't see any of the clear through it at all. And if you like something that's brush on, you could do the From the Nail black, which is also really gorgeous. Their colors are great as well. So I'm just going to show you that really quick. I've prepped most of the nails with the black already, but just so you can see how pretty this black is, it's really beautiful. Okay, now that goes on super smooth. Now the reason we're doing a base coat is because these colors are a little bit see-through. You can layer them like 2 coats and get a really pretty glitter nail. But to get the effect that I'm doing today, you want to do a black base. Okay, see that? I mean, that just covers so beautifully. And we're going to put that in the light for 30 seconds. And I'm going to show you as well how the From the Nail F-Gel black color works too, because that's also a really great color. It just depends if you like a more potted gel or if you like a brush-on gel. But both have really great coverage. Wow, that goes on so easily. I'm like, now I'm not sure which is my favorite. I really like both of these, actually. Okay, so we're going to put that one in as well. Now, let me see. I could put these maybe up here in the corner so you can still see them, but I have a little bit more space to work from. Here we go. Now, the colors that I'm going to be using today from the collection, Space Opera on Flash, is going to be number 41, which is a dark red, number 42, which is the camel bronze, number 43, which is the dark gray and pink. This one might be my favorite. It's really pretty. And then for the pink, the pinky, excuse me, we're gonna use number 31. Just so you can get a variety. I mean, sometimes you can actually have a really nice design just by changing the colors up. You can make it look like it was really hard and it was really easy, which our clients always love that. Okay, so let's get these out of the way. And we're gonna start with that thumb. So remember, that one's number 41. And we're going to just do one nice full coverage coat on the top of that black base that's already been cured. Here we go. Make sure we get it all the way to the tip. Now already I think you guys are seeing how reflective this is, and you're not quite getting the red from what it's looking like on the camera to me, but just like that is pretty. You could cure it right there and leave it and somebody would walk out happy. It's a really pretty color. Leafgel has this tool here, which is a magnet tool. There's a rectangle on one side and there's a circle on the other. So it has different effects. I'm going to use the rectangle. This is a magnet because this polish is magnetized. So you get this gorgeous cat eye effect when you use it. I'm going to hold it at an angle across the nail, just a couple centimeters, millimeters, very close, almost touching. And that moves it into this really cool shape. All right, watch this. Can you, I'm not sure if you can see it. I think you can. Yeah. You can? Okay, great. Just want to make sure. And you can either put that into your UV light, LED light to cure, or you can use this tool, which is one of my favorite tools to use at home for a lot of different things, which is the From the Nail Fairy Light. It's a handheld LED light. And this actually has enough power that you could cure, fully cure one finger at a time using it. I'm going to let it finish up inside the LED light. Leafgel makes a really nice, strong, powerful LED light. Both are great, but that fairy light is really special, and I love having that in my kit. Okay, so on the pointer finger, we're going to do number 42, which is that camel bronze. Look how pretty that is. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes when I'm working with new colors, I kind of like imagine what celebrity in my head would be wearing this color. This is definitely like my imaginary Beyonce color. I think she would like this one. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing with that magnet. So pretty. Look at that, so crisp. Okay, put that in the light. Okay, next we are going to use my favorite color I think this is my favorite. I don't know. It's hard to decide because a lot of them are so pretty, but I think this one's my favorite, number 43. I mean, even if you open it up, you can see just how much color's in there. And I love pink, so that's another reason that I think this one's one of my favorites. But it's also like a bit iridescent too. It's like pink and gray. It's so cool. You want to make sure you get that all the way up to the edge, all the way down to the tip. And don't be too sparing. You want a nice coat. Okay. Here we go with our, come in with our magnet again. So pretty. There's even like a little bit of a gold color or something in there. Okay, put that in the light. The ring finger, we're going to go back to number 41. That's the one we're going to have the little moon on. That's our red. And do a nice coat like that. Same thing. Now, one thing I think you guys are going to like about this collection too is the fact that you can layer it over other colors as well. Black is not the only base color that works with this collection. You can do it on like a coordinating color, like use the pink space opera color on a pink base, and it looks really cute. I think it's important, you know, when we invest in our nail stuff, that we are buying things that we can do lots of different techniques with or make different designs with. And that's one of the things I really love about this collection is there's a lot of stuff you can do with it. Okay, see that? And then our last one is the pinky. And that is number 31. That's our silver. That's like the classic, just bright, sparkly silver glitter. But you can see now this is going over a black base. This almost fully covers the black base with just one coat. So this does have a lot of glitter in it. It has coverage. So you could use it on a natural nail. Okay, and let's see what it looks like when we use the magnet. So pretty. Okay. Let that one finish up curing. And now we've got all of our bases done. So for this design, the only color that I actually used besides the collection, the Space Opera Flash collection, is the black base, which I already showed you guys. And then my favorite white, this is the best white that they make for gel anywhere. I swear to God, this is the best one. It's amazing. So it's Leafgel 2. This is a potted gel. Now, even if you're not comfortable doing base colors with a brush using a potted gel, you can still buy this and use it to do art with because it's an amazing art gel. And I actually really love the fact that it's not too thick. Like some art gel can be so thick that you can't do anything with it or it doesn't move enough on the nail. And this one is really smooth, so you don't get like dragging. And by dragging, I mean, you know, when your brush kind of skips and leaves like a jagged line or whatever, this one's really nice. And I also wanted to show you guys too, just before moving on really quickly, is that I'm using these Give Me Tip nails from from the nail. And these are really beautiful. If you do like that press-on full cover gel nail, which is so quick and easy, these are great. They're so thin. This is the first time I've actually been able to check them out in person, and they're already pre-etched. The inside's already pre-etched out, so you can skip that entire step, which takes time, you know. If you use these, it's gonna go really quickly. And they're great for doing your samples on too. Really good quality. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is show you guys how to do, should we do the sparkle first, the half moon, the big moon? Let's do the big moon first, and then we'll do the sparkle, and then we'll do the little moon at the end. He's the most fun for me, so I'll save him for the end. So in this particular design, I did that moon on the thumb. Let's get my brush out. You can use the Leafgel Mini Oval for this. This is a great brush for this kind of work. It's small enough, but it's also, the bristles are stiff enough that you can do the technique I'm about to show you guys. Okay. So I'm going to find where's the center of my nail, because the moon's a big circle. You know, we don't want it to go crazy. Like if I start up here and start doing the circle, already I know I made a mistake. So start in the middle. That's about the middle. Okay. And then we're going to go out from there and just make a big circle. And we don't need too much either, because the moon is, it's going to look really pretty if there's different levels of depth of color in it. We don't want it to just be one big, super opaque white circle. It's not going to look like it's glowing in the sky if we do that. We've got to make it a little bit softer. And just let me know if my finger gets in the way. Okay. See what I'm doing there? Just making a nice circle in the middle. We don't want to cover the whole nail. That's why we start small and start moving out to the outer corners of the nail. Because if you go big and then you notice that you've made like an oval or a weird shape that doesn't look like the shape of a moon, you can still correct it. But if you've went too big, it's too late, and you're gonna have to wipe the whole thing off, and you're gonna waste your time. And time is money with our clients, so we want to do this quickly. So if I notice, like, as I'm looking at it, oh, this side looks a little bit flat, then I'll just go in and add a tiny bit more. And another way that I measure my nail or my design on the nail to make sure that it's the correct size and placement is I'm going to look at the edges here. How much space is on this side of the moon towards the side wall, and then how much space is on this side of the moon towards the side wall. To me, it looks like there's a little bit less space on this side, so that means I'm going to come back to the other side and just add a tiny bit more. That's a good way to measure it with your eye. Okay. Now the next part is we're going to use either our isopropyl alcohol, or you could use something like this, which is the Fiote Gel Starter. It's a cleanser. Either will work, but this is a really nice product that's intended for nails. So I'll use a small square. I'll get it a little bit wet with isopropyl alcohol. Or I'll get my brush a little bit wet with the alcohol. And then what we're going to do to make that moon is we're going to go in and actually remove some of the color with our brush that's wet with alcohol. And I'm going to show you right here. See? I'm just taking that white away. When I do this, I like to have actually like a picture of the moon in front of me to work with. I would totally recommend you guys do it that way. It's a lot easier to paint something that's realistic if you have a real picture of it in front of you, as opposed to like trying to remember in your head what it's supposed to look like. But can you see I'm just taking away, and I'm starting to get that shadow where the craters of the moon are. And if you're looking at a real picture, then you can actually see, well, where are those shadows? Where are those patterns on the moon? It's like there's a little bit of a crater. All these craters have names too. I don't know them off of the top of my head, but I think a lot of them do. They're different, like, they have different names for them so they can identify them. And I think it also depends what part of the world you're in when you're looking up at the moon, what you're going to see. So if you're living in a different country than me, you might see it a different way. Okay, so I've removed a bunch, and then now I'm also just softening, which is basically just me kind of patting my brush gently along the edges of those craters I created. That just softens it a little bit. I may add a little bit, take a little bit more down there on the bottom. The more that you remove, the more like dramatic it's going to look. You're going to get a more of a depth of those craters. So you can really just experiment with how much you want to take away, how much you want to leave. But I can almost wipe away all of it if I want to. I bet this picture looked so difficult when you guys were looking at it, and now it's like, oh my God, this is the easiest design ever. Or I hope that's what you think. Okay. And I'm just cleaning my brush off in between when I take it off camera, just so there's not too much gel on there, because I'm removing gel with my brush. So that means the gel is going to be on the brush. And if I don't cleanse it in between, I'll just be putting it back on. So make sure you're cleansing. Cleanse that brush when you need to. Okay, look at that. Now, one thing you can do as well, if you have, for instance, if you have maybe taken a little bit too much off of the moon and now you're like, oh, now it looks like there's no white at all, you can go back in with your little brush and just add that white right back in. So for instance, like the base of the moon in the picture that I was looking at was really, really bright, like at the bottom part. So I'm going to go back in with some white. And just add that back in. This is what's going to really make it pop, and it's going to make it look as though it's 3D. Okay, and a little bit along the top here as well. And you can just feather that down into the rest of the design, because you don't want it to be a heavy outline. But maybe if you just want the edge to glow a little bit more, just add a little bit more white like that. And finally, now like I just put a little bit of an extra line there. You can do the same thing, just dip that brush in your cleanser or alcohol, and then go right in there and just sweep that little extra line you messed up away. Okay. Now this one, I would finish it off by adding some of those little three-pointed stars on it, but I'm going to show you that on a different nail. So you can see. And this you can really, I mean, I could just sit here all day making this moon, honestly. It's so much fun and it's so cool to see it like come alive. If you work on it longer, like for your samples or whatever, you can get a gorgeous 3D looking moon. I'm going to add a little bit more in like that. That gives you an idea of how to do it. And now that's going to go right inside of our LED light and cure. Okay, so next I'm going to show you guys how to do those little three-pointed stars, the Kira Kiras. This is the way I like to do them. I know a lot of people have different techniques, but this is what works for me. And when you find what works for you, you do it that way. I like having about 3 of them. I think 3 of the medium-sized ones looks good on this kind of nail. So what I will do, because you don't want to cover up this beautiful effect of the polish by putting too much stuff on top of it, you want to be able to see that line. So you can go in and just put like a little marker for yourself where they're going to be if you'd like. I find that's helpful when you're starting out. If you're already an advanced artist, then you might not need to do this part. You might be able to just jump right in and start painting. But if you're just learning or you're practicing still, this works great. Okay. So first, I always like to have my stars. I bring the brush out in the direction that the rays are going. So the top line, the star is shining this way, so that means I'm going to drag the line up vertically. And you want to make sure you get a really good vertical line. And you can start small. You don't need to start with it being huge because then you might make it too big. I like to start with it a little bit small. Okay, and then we're going to go back down. That's going to make your line look nice and pointy because you're dragging it away from the center. I would definitely recommend doing it that way. So now we've just got like it's like an X or a cross, I guess is more appropriate, not an X, a cross. And we're going to do that 3 times. I haven't refined it yet. This is just to get that shape. My brush has got something stuck to it. Little something. Make sure you're cleaning your brushes. If your striping brush is not smooth, it might be some gels dried up on it and you want to clean it off. Just check. That's what's happening with mine. So much better. Way better. Okay. That's going on way smoother now that I cleaned my brush. Just use your tiniest, thinnest brush for this. And I'm using just the tiniest bit of gel on the very tip. If you get too much gel on your brush, you're going to lose control of the product. It's always better to start with less and then add more later. So now you can see I've got three crosses. And you want to make sure that your vertical lines are all parallel, if possible. That's going to make it look the best if they're all parallel with each other. Now I'm going to come back in and make that little star. So what I'm doing is basically like right here where the lines meet is I'm just softening that up a bit and just kind of creating more of like a bendy shape instead of like an X where they meet. Bring that up. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. Same thing. See, now that's starting to look like our three-pointed star. And on this one that I did at the bottom, I'm already seeing that I didn't tell you guys, I didn't do what I told you guys to do. So I need to make a little correction here. This vertical line right here, it kind of goes off to the side. We got to fix that because that's going to mess up the whole thing. So I just take my brush that I've dipped in alcohol or cleanser, whatever you prefer, and I'm just wiping that away. Okay, just wipe that little extra part off. Already it looks better. And this is why I told you guys to start small, because you might be like, oh, now I want it to be like, you know, this part needs to be a little bit bigger. This line needs to be a little bit longer. And that's totally fine because you started small, so you can always add. But then when you make it too big, you don't want to have to be like taking stuff away. It makes it a bit messier. Okay, look at that. Now, just to add a little bit more interest and depth to the design, I'll go in with my brush and just add a couple more dots. So that's like some more stars and sparkles. That just makes it look more like a galaxy and more spacey. Okay. And then I'm going to cure that in the light. We've got this great leaf gel light we're using. And as I mentioned before too, the fairy light is another great one for this. If you're traveling on the go, just want to do one nail at a time. I love this tool. And then the last one that we're going to do, that's our little moon, man on the moon. If you guys follow me on Insta, I hope you will follow me on Instagram after seeing this. My IG is Flurry Rose Nails. You know that I'm really into space and the moon and stars and all that kind of stuff. So I was super excited to work on this. So now we're going to create our half moon. And what we're going to do is we're going to do almost like a C, but it's obviously a backwards C because of the direction he's facing. You can do it in the other direction as well if you'd like. Okay. So we'll start out here on the corners. And be like, all right, I'm starting to get my shape. Don't go too fast though. Just get this shape right, and then you can blaze ahead, but we want to get our shape right. And especially because these points are going to be so thin, you got to really make sure you get it in the right place. Okay, so he's going to be about there. See, so I just roughly put that in, put his shape in there. It's about like that. We're going to go and refine it later. Just get the idea. And if you need something with a little bit more control, you can use the Liner XS Leaf Gel brush. This one's a lot shorter. The bristle is short, which you might find is a little bit easier to control than like a striper brush. Any of the Leaf Gel brushes are cool. You're going to like all of them. Oh, see, that's way easier than using the striper brush. I should have just used this one right from the start. So he's like a crescent moon. So we're going to get just about like that crescent moon shape before we worry about anything with his, you know, features of his face. Let's just get the shape in there perfectly first. Okay. Okay. I'm satisfied with that shape. How about you guys? So next is I'm going to put in just the shape of his profile. Let me move this so you can see it a little bit better. Maybe I should put him on a stand so you can see. So I really want you guys to be able to see the detail. Here we go. That's a little bit better. You can see him a little bit better like that. So it's his side profile. We're going to get his little profile in there first. And again, if you want to look at a picture, I definitely did when I did this design. I didn't just make it up off the top of my head, you know. I looked at a picture of a crescent moon with a face. So pull one up on your phone. Don't make it harder on yourself than you need to. Get your reference image out. You know, is it a man? Maybe you decide you want to put a woman's face. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm putting kind of his brow, which would be the first line, then his nose. There's a space under his nose, and then you're going to come in with the lips. And now maybe when you get to this point, you're starting to think like maybe you want to change the shape of your moon a little bit, make it a little thicker at the bottom. You can do that because we haven't cured it yet. So the gel's still wet. That's the thing, when you use these really nice, high quality Korean gels in the pots, they don't move around on you. So you can do designs and keep playing with where the colors go and moving it around until you're satisfied. Because I know you guys have used other branded gels before and they just move and, you know, they're basically dripping off onto the cuticles the whole time and stuff. You're fighting it. That's why I love this white from Leafgel, because it's just so easy to work with. It's just going to stay right where you put it and not go anywhere else. Okay. Let me see. Get a little closer so you guys can see. You see that? He's already coming in a little bit of a profile. And I might even make his tip here a little bit longer too. Now we're going to do the same thing that we did last time when we were doing that big, beautiful full moon. It's the same technique we're using. We're just going to take away where we want his eyes, his nose. We're just going to wipe it away with our brush. Okay? And you could use the mini oval or you can use the extra small. It really just depends on you, what you feel comfortable with. So just get them both. You know, you can just try it out. These brushes are priced really, you know, affordably. So you can get both of them. Okay, so I'm going to start with his eye. His eye is about here. Oh, look at that. I already wiped away so much with my brush. This thing is powerful. Okay, wipe away his eye. And you can go back and take more away. Maybe you want to just first sketch out where his eyebrow is going to be. It's about there. His nose is there. Maybe we want to add a little bit more for his lips, just so there's more to work with, a little bit easier. We can make his nose come out a little bit longer. Ooh, yeah, I like that even better. Now, if you're a beginner and you want to stop there where we're at, your client's still going to like this. This is still really cute and really pretty, and it shows your artistry. You can start there and just leave it as is. And if you want, you can follow along and we're going to go a little bit deeper and put some more depth in his face. But both is fine. Maybe the first time you just do it more simple, and the second time when you're working at home on your samples, you do it a little bit more complicated. Okay, back to removing. So his cheek is going to be about there under the eye. So I'm going to take away a little bit here by the nose. I know I already told you guys this. I'm not going to keep saying the same thing over and over again, but pull up a reference image. It really does make a big difference for artists if you have a reference image and you're not just making it up as you go along. All right, now I'm going to start taking away more. I'm going to make that eye. I want his eye to be really dark. So I want to take away almost every little bit of gel where his eye is. There we go. If you take away too much, we can add some more in at the end. Nothing has been cured yet, so this is still all workable. And I'm just taking a bit away just to give him a little bit of a texture. I want to create a little bit of a shadow underneath his lips. I bet you could do a face like this on a full moon and it would look really cute too. That might be what I try next. Or if you guys try it at home and you make one on a full moon, send it to us. We want to see it. I definitely would love if you guys are following along today or in the next couple of days after you've gotten your collection in the mail, that you would tag me or just send it as a DM, or you can send it to Zillabu as well and they'll share it with me. Because that's the fun part about doing these classes is I really like to see, you know, like how it comes out at the end. Did you guys get it? Did you need help? What kind of designs would you be interested in seeing in the future? Let us know. Let me know. Let's see. Take away a little bit from the lips as well. And now once you're satisfied with that, you can play with that. I could be playing with that all day. You know, I gotta stop myself because I'll just play with it all day if you guys let me. We're gonna go back in with a little bit more white. And this is where the cheek's gonna pop because we're gonna create that highlight on the cheek. Give Mr. Moon his highlighter. And I'm just blending that all the way to the back of the moon, the crescent. See that? We've created a cheek. Now you can go in with your, you gotta find your tiniest brush. I guess I'm already using my tiniest brush. But grab your tiniest brush because we're gonna put that little bit of a highlight on his lips now. Yeah, looks like a good spot. And I'm gonna blend right here too. And we're gonna create a little bit more white under his eye. Just the tiniest amount of gel. I'm wiping it all off my brush. So let's do above his eye where his eyelid would be. And then a little bit on the underside of his eye. Our eyebrows still nice and crisp. And you could do a lot of different, I think, types of personality on this moon too, depending on how you want to make his face look. That's ways you can customize this and make it your own, different from the one I did. You can make him, is he happy, is he sad, is he sleepy? gonna add a little bit of a line to his, above his eye. And then the last part that I do before I cure this under the light is I'm probably just going to come in and take away a little bit more just to create those craters. It's going to make him look more moon-like if we do that. So I'll take a little bit right there on his cheek. Not messing up all that hard work we did sculpting his face, but just on the cheek where it's not going to mess the design up. I also see that I didn't make this line crisp enough, so I'm going to do that. And look at that. We created a really nice 3D moon just using white only. Okay, put him in there, into the light. Now, do you guys want me to go and do the other designs, or do you feel like we've got the 3 main ones? And
yeah, I think that doing 3 main ones.
The 3 mains is good, right? Yeah. Awesome. And now, before we finish up, I want to make sure we top it off with our top coat. There is a newer line to Zillabue that I haven't tried yet, but I'm excited about, which is the Fiote line. So we're going to use that top gel.
So I think just keep in mind that the Oz top coat is a white gel.
Oh, it's a white. Okay. Yeah. So the Oz top gel, I was just told, which is great info, is a wipe off gel. We have to wipe that one. So then is the silky top the non-wipe?
The silky top is matte.
The silky top is matte.
So the addiction is
oh, addiction is the non-wipe. I'm gonna use the addiction gel, and if you prefer a wipe off gel, you're gonna use the Oz gel. For purpose of today, I'm gonna use addiction gel because I don't want to have to wipe it off.
It's a really thick viscosity.
Oh yeah, it's really thick. Look at that. And I think there's also a little piece of hair stuck there. But look how thick that is. So if you've got a design that's got a bunch of stuff that might be bumpy on it and you want it to be really smooth, this would be a great top gel. Super, super shiny. Wow, look at that. I'm gonna have to get some of that. And just to remind you guys, because we're finishing up now, we're almost done. If you want to go on the Zillabue website and get any of the items that you saw me using here today, or any of their other collections, they have so much stuff. I mean, just being in this office, I'm like, wow, I want that, I want that, and I want that, and this, and that, and one of everything, please. But if you use my code, which is Flurry10, when you check out, you can save money on everything. And we all know that the more you buy, the more you save. So just go get everything you need. I never regret investing in more nail products because you end up making more money. Your clients are so excited when you get new stuff in. You don't want to have just the same old stuff year after year after year. They want new products. They want to hear about all the new trends and what's cool. And this Space Opera on Flash collection is really the coolest, newest thing at the moment. So your clients are going to love this. Okay, put these ones in. And just before we go, I wanted to show you guys as well that you can do other base colors, and here's a cute example. Now I used F gel and I did a blue. Actually I used the blue and the green from the Very Berry collection, which I really love, as the base. I did kind of like a marbly base. And then I did this silver Space Opera on Flash, which is number 31, over the top. Did the magnet and then added those kirakiras in, and it looks so cute. This is more like the softer version of the night sky. Okay. So there we are. There's our new Man on the Moon Galaxy design. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in today. My name is Flurry. I can't wait to connect with you guys, and thank you so much, Zillabu, for having me on today. Hope you guys have a wonderful day.